Okay, people. Same day. January 25th, 2018. It's gonna happen for these people here real quick. Okay, people. Now we're inside. I have the key and I'm in the house all by myself. I guess this is a little bit of quiet before the storm. You can see it's clean. It's almost like it's been painted. I can kind of somewhat smell paint. This is the bathroom. You can see it's not perfect, but it works. They've been doing something here with tiles. Right? I don't know. Maybe they were going to tile over this. I don't know if it's necessary. And then we go down the hall. I don't know if there's a light here. Oh yeah, that's a light for the laundry room. You can see it's just a little laundry room. Nothing fancy. Door's locked. Wash machine, dryer, furnace, water tank, little wash tub. And then there's the hall light. There's a little cupboard. Here's another bedroom. You can see it's fair size. If you were to look from here, it's quite large, really. Right? Carpet's in good shape. And then we've got this room here, which is small. You can see. Right. Another little cubby. Can hang things. Camera's a little fuzzy. Alright, and then there's this bedroom here. The house is a little cold right now because the heat is off. This one needs a better light. This room's a little smaller, but it's still pretty good. Right? Considering everything. It's very quiet in here. I'll show you the kitchen. Hold on. We'll come back to that. It's really too bad that it's only temporary, but it's a start. Right? No, I don't know how to turn on the light in here. I don't see a light switch. I see a light, but I don't see a light switch, people. Where would it be? Oh, maybe this is it. There we go. A little cul-de-sac. We have an extra fridge here, but that will probably have to be moved outside. There's not a lot of room in here. And then this is the kitchen. I really like this kitchen. It's a cute little kitchen. It's a very nice little kitchen. You can see. All right. Stove is clean. Fridge is clean. He gave us some new taps. So the taps are nice. There you go, people. What do you think? What do you think? Hey, I don't even know if that thing was recording. Maybe it wasn't recording. Like I said, I'm going blind, as if Fraser Health Authority cares, right? I was saying, I'll say it again, I'm standing in this house by myself right now, thinking about the mayhem that's going on in our community. As, you know, in one hand I'm fighting a corporation, and on the other hand, I'm standing in an empty house, ready to have the most vulnerable in our society move in for 7 months to a year, try and build in some stability as they're coming in with shell shock, post-traumatic stress syndrome, because out in the streets, especially last year, they couldn't even leave their tents, people. I have videos, I mentioned this before the camera blinked out. I don't even think maybe I turned it on, that's why. Because if I don't put on record, it will blink out. So anyway, you know, people wouldn't leave their tents because they were afraid of having it pillaged, as the workers, the city workers and the cops are going from tent to tent to tent, taking people's stuff and throwing it into some bins, or they could be sifting through it, take what they want and throw out the rest in the garbage. So people weren't even leaving their tents, because the minute they left their tent, didn't matter for what it was, they would be losing their stuff. So I've got people moving in here that have lost their personal family pictures, you know, that have lost, you know, their just contacts and to other family members, and because anything that's in their tent, once, you know, people want to take everything, they take it all. So, you know, the people that are moving in are extremely under a lot of post-traumatic stress syndrome. They're coming in from a war, people, basically. You know, and then when they go to the hospital, they get a little bit of treatment, get mistreated because they're poor, right? We know how that goes, right? And then tossed out into the streets as poor families like mine get criminalized, you know, through the healthcare system, as we're being accused of things just because the old person has money and those workers want to appoint themselves representative to that money, and then destroy the old person's life to get to that money as they destroy the family to get to that money. But you have no money, you get tossed out on the streets, and once you're out on the streets, and then you get a new crew coming in fucking trying to destroy you. So I'm standing in this little house, just wondering why am I in this little house right now by myself, bringing in war refugees. These are refugees that are moving into this house, refugees within their own country, people. Okay? You have to remember, the mortgage on this house is $2,700. The rent is $19. Social services is already dickering down on the rental portion. We guesstimated $350 by the time social services is done dickering on the $375 that they allow for basic rent, hydro, and gas, and they're already starting to dickering it down. And with 6 people paying $350 only brings in 21 and a bit, with the rent being 19. That is not enough money for hydro. That is not enough money for gas. There leaves no money for a basic phone line. So I don't know. We're going to have to bring in 2 more people. And now the landlords are like, they're hearing it from other people. Well, why are you letting 6 to 8 people move in? Well, who's going to live in this house for seven months, pay $1,900, when in all reality the mortgage is $27, right? Not including hydros. He has a better chance doing it with me and us moving in peacefully, living under these circumstances as a, you know, the happy little house, and then leaving peacefully, versus randomly renting it to know there's some, you know, whatever, and just let the ball bounce where the ball bounces. I don't know where I'm going to move everybody to after, because they were kind of like my family now, people. It would be like my family moving in here. This is where the Duncan clan wanted me. This is where Fraser Health wanted me with my family. Living on the edge, right? Bouncing from house to house. 5 months here, 4 months there, 7 months here. As the old ones are coming in and the new ones are coming up, but you can never move into the new one because you're ostracized for being poor. And the more you move and the more your things are taken away from you and the more you're abused and the more you're criminalized, right? The less and less and less and less you become, until eventually you just fade away. So anyway, I should be happy. I should be extremely happy. And I am. I'm really happy for the people. Right? But this doesn't solve the problem. It's just a mini fix right now. Right? And Andrew, again, I don't know what you're thinking. But you're not doing this community that you work and live in and play in any service. And you're sure to hell not doing this country any service. By the simple fact is, your corporation and your company discriminate against the poorest of the poor, vulnerable children, vulnerable young adults, vulnerable people in general, and you go after the old for their money, and you want to protect the criminal activity within your organization. And one of the best ways is to keep us enslaved into your corrupt system, as you try and convince us to think that you provide valuable services, that the corporation that you represent provides valuable services. Well, let me remind you that the people that are moving into this house, they are shell shocked. They're coming in from a war. They have post-traumatic stress syndrome. They have had their belongings robbed from them time after time after time by city officials and cops that are rogue on criminalizing poverty. Because we're easy to pick on. And the elderly cannot defend themselves, even though they're supposed to receive legal representation throughout the corporation, which the corporation is just a bunch of freaking talk. Where was Uncle John's legal representation as they robbed his money from him? I'm it. And I can't be doing that bad of a job if I'm standing in a little house, a happy little house by myself, with the keys. Okay, people, I'm back home. I swear, these corporations, they're ruining my life. They've already ruined Uncle John's. Got him tucked away like their dirty secret. You know, waiting for his loving sisters to come visit him once in a blue moon. I'm sure his adopted daughter is visiting him once a year, if that. His brother Mike, that's a forest ranger, probably hasn't seen him since he got his share from John's money. You know, as long as he's in the will and he knows he gets his share, kind of like my family, right? And he's good to go. He'll see John when John's dead, right? That's pretty much how it's going to go for Uncle John now, people. You know, sitting in a wheelchair, drooling into a bib as they continue to give him opiates. You know, maybe every now and then just shock him up just to, you know, keep those brain cells dead, right? God forbid if he started remembering the ones that he loves. So anyway, I don't feel very exuberant in terms of what's going on with this little house right now. For the simple fact is, my life is being sabotaged. My children's lives are being sabotaged. You know, my grandchildren's lives are being sabotaged. Uncle John's life was already sabotaged. And a whole lot of other people in this community, their lives are being sabotaged. As I'm sitting here thinking, how the hell am I going to pay the hydro and the gas and a basic telephone line for over in that place when there's not enough money, even though you've got 6 people living in the house, maybe 7. And it's still not enough to cover the rent, basic hydro, gas, and just a phone line, and maybe an internet service. Like, how pathetic is that? That's pretty pathetic. Right? And I can almost guarantee you, every person that I talk to in regards to what is the healthcare system like for these people, on a scale of 1 to 10, the majority will probably say Fraser Health gets a 0. Right? In terms of the services that they provide to the residents of this community. Because it's genocide in Canada, people. Right? And these unions that are dictating the outcome of a 2-tiered system where, you know, those union workers, when they retire, get the pension plan, get the superannuation life insurance policy, get the disability plan, get the dental plan, get the health care plan, get all these other benefit plans, while the rest of us get the streets. Unless, of course, you're a homeowner that's into flipping properties and making your money that way, or a homeowner that can afford to build new houses and flip properties and make your money that way. But that's just a small group of people in a population of 4.6 million people, right? Not everybody can do that. Only some people can do that, right? So that's kind of like where I'm at with this right now, because, you know, I've got Fraser Health Authority, you know, just punking me off like I'm just some dumb bitch that deserves to be out on the street with the rest of the homeless people, because that's where Fraser Health Authority is trying to put me. Trying to bankrupt my house. They've been trying to bankrupt my house the minute Uncle John showed up at the Surrey Memorial Hospital, and they sniffed around and, oh, he's got a good pension. We want that pension to prop up our convalescent care, and after we're done paying for that, you know, having him pay for that, we want to put him over here so he could pay for that, because at the end of the day, the more he pays, the more I get my pension. So who are they working for? They're not working for the patient people. They're working for themselves. So anyway, I'm just waiting for my son to get home so I can go spread the good news. Find out where the money is, in terms of the landlord hasn't received any money yet. Right? But as it's calculating out, like I said, it's not enough. So I don't know. Gonna have to find more people to move in, right? And then you get harassed for having so many people move in, but don't have a choice, unless of course you want these portables that it's like a mini FEMA camp that they're building up over here for these people. They're gonna criminalize, more than likely, homelessness, make it illegal to put up tents, force them into these little teeny weeny cubicles with, you know, temporary washroom. Each cubicle gets their own washroom, and they're kind of like stack and pack with a chain link fence around them, with all the services right there that will be mandatory to some degree, right? With, you know, their expectations of, you know, not being able to do this, and, you know, I'm just wondering how they're gonna, you know, what happens if somebody dies and, you know, or doesn't want to open the door? Are they gonna bring in SWAT? Like serious, like, people are out of control these days. And 160 units isn't going to solve the homeless problem, that's for sure, because the numbers keep going up. Because in 7-8 months, a year from now, those people are facing homelessness again. Again. There's no guarantee that we'll get another house, people. And if you got to put 20 in a house just to pay for the mortgage, because the government wants to live in 1942, right, in terms of wages, or, you know, living, right, the cost of living, you know, they're operating in a 1942 budget, when in fact we're in like 2024, right, well beyond the current date, that's for sure. Like I said, in another 17 more years, if something doesn't change, there's not going to be too many people that can live out here. So just imagine how many people are going to die out here just to accommodate the cost of living. Alright? Because there's too much corruption here. And that corruption is all across Canada. It's not just here. So you can't run away from your problems. Moving to another province, you're just moving into another problem, which will be a very similar problem, if not the same problem. Because our politicians are failing us, that's why, people. The corporations that are supposed to provide services to the people are failing us. Right? So, I guess it's my job just to keep talking about it for now. For now, anyway. Somebody's tent's being taken down. Obviously causing trouble for somebody. That's what they do out here.
If somebody's running around stealing from other people's tents, people will just come in and tear down the tent of the thief. I'm not saying that's why that tent's being torn down. Some kind of beef. Alright. Anyway, 2 less people off the street tonight, people. 4 more tomorrow. He's just slicing it up. That's what he's doing. Looks like he's destroying more than one person's tent.
But he thinks I said it's okay? I never watched that kid fly. It's raining a block over. It's raining. Okay, people. Oh my, look at that. There we go. So it's like 10:30 at night. Is that recording? Yeah. Just finished giving them a couple of blankets that my Korean neighbors donated. For anyone that watches my videos. Remember that big stack of blankets that I got from my neighbors when they were moving out of their house? Well, I just gave a whole bunch for over there. A little bit of rice. We went and did a little bit of grocery shopping, so they'll give me back the money for that. And a couple of pillows, a few dishes, and a pot. Ooh, I didn't give them a frying pan. Well, they got a pot anyway. Right? And they're very, 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 very happy and grateful people. They feel like their whole future is opening up in front of them. Like the energy that they're giving off is extremely positive. Although I've been moping and I've been making apologies for me moping. Thank you very much, Fraser Health Authority. Andrew. So anyway, I'm going to have myself a cup of coffee. And it's one day at a time right now.